it's me. Happy Valentine's Day. It is not Valentine's Day anymore. Happy Sunday after Valentine's Day. Hello, welcome. Um, I am your host. It's me, she, master chef extraordinaire. Today I ate 4 pieces of French toast and I put mayonnaise on it because I think I'm cool. But yes, here today to serve up some spicy romantic advice. Okay, just kidding. We're talking about existential crisis. Yippee! Alright, so I am alone today. And the reason being Miko's Miko's house has been struck with a blackout. So, I don't know when she can join us. Yeah. Um, so it'll just be me for the time being. Yeah. But if Miko decides to join on call, it'll probably be through her phone. So, the quality of the mic will be a little shitty. Happy Singles Awareness Day. That's right. But hey, even though you're single doesn't mean you can't love. Here we go. So, I wrote a lot of stuff, a lot of thoughts, a lot of rambles for this topic because it is so broad. I tried to simplify a little bit by focusing specifically on perception and not really feeling, not really relationships, just like perception. As like weird as that is. I don't know. Okay, Miko says that she'll be here in a minute. Okay, yeah. All right, cool. By the way, unrelated. Like 7 days ago, we got followed by a person whose name is Melusine. So I just want to say you got a cool name. Happy Genshin Impact. All right. So, perception of love. Perception of love. Perceptions of love? Perception. Here's the thing. I don't even know if this is a term because we kind of just make up a topic every single time. Yeah, happy Genshining. But yeah, so when we say perception, we're talking about like the actual definition of it, like the ability to see, hear, or become aware of something through senses. So when we're talking about the perception of love is like how we see love in the world, which is obviously very broad and it differs from person to person, so nice. Um, but yeah, how we see love in the world and like how we kind of define love from person to person and under different circumstances. Yeah. What is love? What is love? Don't answer with the lyric. What is love? So since we're talking about perceptions of love, I, all y'all. Baby, don't hurt me. So, perception of love, how different perspectives perceive love. And like I said, it's so broad, it's like hard to narrow down. So honestly, I'm at a loss for how to start. I wrote down like a couple of topics and a lot of, you know, thoughts, but since we're still waiting for Miko, I'm gonna immediately go a little off topic. So, well, it's still kind of on topic. Um, so the question about love, how do people love? How do people fall in love? How do people start to love other people? Like, how do you make those connections? And so there's this TED Talk. Oh shit, it's Miko. All right, I don't have to talk about the TED Talk.
What TED Talk?
Greek types of love. Um, I will get into it, but hold on, let me hide you. Make sure you're just in ramen. Okay.
Okay.
Well, welcome. I did like a little intro, but yes, we're talking about perceptions of love. How do you you know what? I'm gonna try to be more specific here. So so you've used Miko soup, but it sounds like miso. All right. So the question is, Miko, how do people fall in love? How does it happen? How do we start caring about other people?
What kind of love?
Any.
Well, any form of infatuation, right? And then it
Well,
sticks around, and then love.
what? Okay.
You like people just like how you like bananas or like strawberries.
Okay. Well, I'd say that your love for a person is slightly different than your love for an object like a fruit or a vegetable.
Yeah, but the way you start liking them is kind of the same. You test it out, you try it, you enjoy it, you stick with it.
Okay. So what I wrote down was like was based off this like TED Talk, which I feel like I might have shared with you or you might have heard of because it is kind of a popular one, but it's the one by Brene Brown. Do you know that person?
I don't remember names.
So she did this TED Talk on vulnerability. So so
Uh-huh.
what happened was that she was doing this research on like people who have a strong sense of love and belonging, right? So the people who do have a strong sense of love and belonging will believe that they are worthy of love and belonging. Wow, shocker, right? And they have the courage to be imperfect and the compassion to be kind to themselves first and connect with other people and basically be vulnerable, which is her topic. So, like, they let go of who they think they should be and just be who they are, and then and and feel comfortable with that. And from there, they're able to connect with other people like as themselves, which makes them feel worthy of love and thus happiness. I don't know. Basically, like,
Okay.
yeah. Um, so I was kind of thinking like, oh, okay, well, like maybe that's kind of how people form like like a a, a love, a connection, a care for people or even things, I guess. Or maybe not things,
I
but
mean,
like
if you
being
want a little bit of
hello?
psychology in it,
Hello? Yes?
yeah, hello.
What did you say? Sorry.
I said if you want a little bit of psychology in it, it's what do you call it? If you see something enough times, like you'll form some kind of attachment to it because it's like, oh, I recognize this thing is familiar to me.
Oh, yeah.
So familiarity breeds attachment, and attachment breeds love.
Hmm. Oh, okay. But like I guess what I'm thinking more of is like an understanding. Like you can grow an attachment to anything, like you said, by becoming familiar with it. But um if it's like a person that you just happen to see every day, doesn't necessarily mean that you know that person, right?
Yeah, see, there's also like, so the attachment has to be there, right? So you need to see it enough times. And you need to have put effort into it. So there's an investment of your effort. So once there's an investment of your effort, you'll want something back, either physically or emotionally. Usually in terms of relationship, it's emotionally, right? So uh it's like I've already invested this much time and effort into something. It's hard to back off now. It's like when you spend money on a game and it's hard for you to stop playing because you've spent so much money, something like that.
Okay.
And because of that, you and attachment, you become like fixated on the person or the thing. uh and that fixation can turn into obsession or love.
Okay.
It depends on like how your feeling ends up growing, because it can just like, of course, you could just get burnt out completely and then not want to have anything to do with it again, or uh, it goes in the direction where like your your investment of effort and time and your attachment lingers, and it's like kind of like correctly over time, things just kept piling on and increasing, and you just end up liking the person because, of course, you do. Your behavior suggests that you like the person, stuff like that.
Hmm. I see.
Though if it's not clear, I can try and explain it.
I get what you're talking about, but okay. I'm trying to like find a way to steer it back to, because we're talking about love, but we're talking about specifically perception of love. So how we perceive what love is. So
Yeah, so
yeah.
it can be questioned whether like explaining love like that, if it's even love at all, because it's very methodical. And like, is love methodical, or does it just happen instantaneously?
Yeah, that's the debate, right? Hmm. Right. So like perceptions of love. So the way I was thinking of it is like, because it's perception, so it's like how different people see it, right? And um okay. I guess we can I'll just turn to topics. Forget the sideways. Let's talk about media because I wrote a lot here. So, I'm sure you also know, but media has a very very strong obsession with love, and I'd say like mostly romantic love. So but media has kind of distorted our own perceptions of love, and instead of what we what we perceive from like our own experiences, we're using media to kind of emulate that. So it's um like using like comparing your life to like a romance story, right? And saying like I want like a relationship like this or something like that. Like I want this kind of love, right? Instead of like basing what you want on like real life experiences. So, and then there's also media that's like written based on other media. So it just like so when it comes to romance specifically, like it kind of just gets increasingly distorted into some hyper reality fantasy ish fiction um that can lead to a lot of negative consequences. So, kind of the takeaway from I think you watched this video too, but the video from is her name Olivia? Olivia Sung?
I think her name was Olivia.
Yeah. The sort of takeaway uh of that is that when you think of love, you should think of love as you shouldn't think of it as like receiving something, but rather like giving something. Like don't think of love as to like what you're getting out of the relationship, and it's better to think of what you can give to the other person. Which kind of segues into this other thought that I had, which is about ultimate games and dating sims. So, um, when it comes to these kinds of games, they market a fantasy relationship. So it's like a relationships where like oh all of us are accepted by this like ikemen guy, right? But this fictional guy is a character that doesn't really know who we are. So you'd think that like because of how they market it, you're just wholly receiving. So you're like as in you're on the receiving end of this, handsome guy's love. But it's not really like that. So Ultimate Games will do the funny thing where sometimes they will like or they will oftentimes kind of flip the thing, and because they give us so much character lore and backstory, it like makes us care for the characters. So we feel love towards the character, kind of like how you were explaining, like if you see someone enough times and you'll kind of grow like an attachment to them. Even if
Okay,
they
see,
are just
this
pixels.
is where I know that you don't play a lot of anime games.
I don't
Because
know what
okay,
I'm doing. I'm just writing down what I think. Hi.
okay, so Ultimate Games. Remember when I said that when there's an investment of your time and effort, you'll come to like the thing that you're doing more.
Hmm.
Same thing with people. So there, when there's or just the fictional characters in this case, uh, in Ultimate Games, you put there's actually a lot of effort to get a certain character to like you.
Yeah,
A
that's
whole lot of effort.
what. Yeah.
So, so you see them often enough times, you get a lot of backstory about them. That's just one part of like getting to know them, right? Because um, you can know a lot of people and not feel like too strongly about them. That's why you have like characters. Oh yeah, I know about that character. I don't really like them, you know.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, it's it's the part where you start investing your efforts into them that makes that's like that really seals the deal because uh, sometimes our brains will reason the behavior, like give reason to the behavior later. So you do the behavior first, and then you look at it, and then you go, "Oh, I must like this because I'm doing so much," you'll you'll think in a way where it's like, "Oh, I have to like this because I've invested so much. I have to like it." You know?
Yeah. Like, well, that's what I was leading into because I was saying that like from the surface, it feels like you're when you play these games, you're like on the receiving end, right? But in reality, you're more of the giver in this situation because you're giving all the time and energy to the character. So, yeah.
But it's not that you don't expect anything in return. Everything you do in an ultimate game, you expect there is a return.
Yes, but like okay.
So it's
Uh
not purely. giving just for giving's sake. We every ultimate game player, if we're giving and then not expecting a return, we would not be playing the game.
Okay. Okay, I see what yeah. You do get a return, but like I guess the the thought process is like how big of a return is it? Uh but like it's like well like the effort that you put in is like okay, hold on. Forget the return. More specifically, so like when you're putting in the effort, right? It's like a form of care, right?
Yeah.
So that would be love.
You can care about things and not love it. But yes, it would be part of love. See, how a person defines love differs greatly from person. How like we define love differs greatly from person to person. Um, and that's part of why like how we perceive love is so important because the same actions you do can be perceived as love by someone else, but not by you.
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
like romantic love. Romantic love.
Yeah.
Um,
Ow. Uh, okay. Well, now I'm off track with my thought process. Um, right. So, okay. Well, I mean, I'm talking in like a general tone, but this is more of like because of how love differs. I really need to cough and drink water. I'm sorry.
she's dying. He dead.
In John Mulaney's thought process, not his exact words, I forgot, but he was like, "Oh man, when I have to burp, I don't like excuse myself and go and burp. I try to muscle through it." Why? And be like, "Ugh, so you're talking about okay. Yeah. So, hmm, uh, right. I guess like the thought process that I was going on with Otome games was that like this the kind of relationship that you have with the character, right? The whoever is like your your fictional partner in the game. Um like the kind of like a lot of what I'm saying is like, yeah, does she? That's very obvious, but but it's like your kind of care for them and then their care for you is not like, wholly reciprocated because they're not real. So so stuff like when you, for example, like give them something and they say, "Thank you, I love you," right? The same like the sort of I love you in return or any other words of flattery is like, like yeah, you can hear it and enjoy it, but obviously there's a very apparent wall there that's like, yeah, well, I don't really believe that because they're not real, right? So it's like it's a lopsided relationship. Uh, yes, thank you. Obvious stuff. Just laying out some stuff. So going back to like how we're not really on the receiving end and we're more on the giving side. So um so right, yeah, yeah, yeah. A bunch of more obvious stuff that I've written down, but like games will make it appear as though the boys do care about you, but because they're marketing this to a mass audience, there's no possible way for them to get into specifics. So like the boys do love you, but they also don't know anything about you, right? So and games will try to personalize it a bit. Like Our Life had you choose your insecurities from a choice menu, which is very surreal and uncomfortable. And like Love in Deep Space has like that little chat option where you can tell them like, "Oh, I had like a good day today," or "I had a bad day today." But the choices are very limited and they also don't change from day to day. So it's like there's kind of like the same-ish response every time. And you can't be very specific either. So it's like there's not really a way to go around it because, that's just how it is. You'd be making AI at that, like if you go any further. But but if you flip it around, so like because you're on the giving side and or no, actually throw away the giving thing. You, the player, right? They don't know anything about you, but you know everything about the guys, right? Because they're fictional characters. You know about their backstory and their lore and like what they like and dislike and every stupid measurement from their height to their penis size. So if we're talking about the perception of love, right? Like if we're relating all this to perception, um there's like so Ultimate Game writers like kind of when they write dialogue, when they write stories, right? It's kind of and you're playing this game, so this is like kind of how they perceive what like a romantic relationship would be like what a good question mark romantic relationship would be like, right? And they're obviously doing something right because there's a lot of people who like the games and like the guys, right? So there's something there. So it's like uh, I guess like when you're looking at it from like, oh man, how did people perceive love? How did different people perceive love? This is just like one of the ways. And um kind of branching off topic on my next thought, but like the effect of the the effect of these games, right? Um well, first of all is like standards. So like if fictional man can do this, then I should find a boyfriend that can also do this, right? Or whatever. But also for folks who've like never been in a romantic relationship, the ultimate game boyfriend or whatever else kind of fictional romance that they experience, so like, you know, their favorite tags on AO3 is is like their perception of romantic love, but it's also like their only perception of romantic love, because they don't have any other experience, so I guess that's something. And gestures. And then like so yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, yeah. And then kind of round it out back to the first point, right? Uh the perception of love and then ultimate and then how like this romance in an ultimate game is a perception of what a quote good relationship is like, right? This relationship isn't but it isn't really a good relationship because you know they're just lines, girl. And like they don't really know who you are. Well, you know who they are. It's unbalanced.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that goes for all love. If it's
Does it go
so,
to all love? Yeah.
you went on a really long thing about like love in general not being more about giving and not about receiving, right? Like you should not be expecting a return, right?
Well,
When you like love something, it's more about you giving.
yeah.
Yeah, but for love to be actually like healthy, there is some certain level of expectation that needs to be met in terms of things that are returned back to you, or else it will be unbalanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that goes for all types of love, so like familial love, friendship, romantic love.
Mhm. Yeah.
Even love for your pets, there is a certain expected return.
Oh, okay. And
So what I'm saying is, love is more. It's not like mostly giving thing. It's it's I wouldn't say give and take, but it's a two-way street.
right, which is why like I feel like the like or which is why like the perception of love within a ultimate game is is flawed. Where it's like because you're giving, right? And you do get stuff in return, but the stuff you get in return feels a little it's not like the same as if it was an actual other human person, you know, because
No,
it's
that's just the that's just an issue of someone that doesn't play a lot of Ultimate.
then what do you get in
Or
return, Miko?
you get happiness.
Is it happiness? It's yes, it's happiness, but is it like like uh, lifelong happiness, or is it just a burst of serotonin?
Are you saying that bursts of serotonins are not considered love?
Uh, it hmm. It's like I don't know, like question. Are they
So you
sustainable?
can have a lot of dating partners and have loved all of them, but none of them last. Stuff like that, you know? Like IRL. Would you say that that person have never loved anyone just because they go through go through people a little bit faster or more often than others?
Miko and her tissue man. I'm kidding. Sorry.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
The question is, are they sustainable? Like,
Like,
right.
does love have to be sustainable over a long period of time? I don't think so. Because
But
at different aspects of your life, you need different types of love.
sure, but like say if we're talking about like marriage or like lifelong relationships and stuff like that, where like when you're talking about a game, right? It's like yeah, you get bursts of serotonin and you still get bursts of serotonin with like fictional or real people. But with a game you run out of content. So you
People, you also run out of content. You know, love doesn't sustain a marriage.
I'm like not okay, not a marriage, but just like a relationship. Does love not sustain a relationship?
Not necessarily, not in how I see it.
Then what does?
So if all you have for someone is love, you could just love bomb them occasionally, like disappear, come back, and I love you so much. Here, have all of this, and then disappear again, right? And
Uh,
if love was like a a meter, love bombing would fill the meter, and then it goes down slowly over time. You come back to love bomb again, which fills up the meter. So that would have sustained the relationship. But I think it's the consistency. Consistency is what actually sustains the relationship. The same consistent care. So it's not about the feeling of love
but
itself, but it's the
isn't
care
that
that you put
consistent
into it.
care like isn't that because you love them?
Well, yes, but it's your actions that sustain the the relationship and not the feeling of love. You get me?
Okay, like the feeling of okay. But like it's like the feeling of love that charges those actions. Like the reason why you care, the reason why you do stuff for them is because you love them.
Yeah, but also you can be doing stuff first and then coming to love them later.
Sure, but if you're in a long relationship, as in like you you've been in love, right? And it's like something like I want to be with this person for the rest of my life kind of scenario, right? Like that's still like your actions aren't, maybe they led to love, but then they you continue doing stuff because you continue loving them.
And think of it this way: you can love your family, but then want nothing to do with them. So that relationship is strained, right?
Love is a jump starter, but additional effort needs to be put in to keep it up after honeymoon period.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think it's just like a different definition, alright? Cause like in my head I think I kind of relate love and also like care kind of together with the same thing. Where it's like
Yeah, see, like there are a lot of people. Like, if we talk about familial love, there are a lot of people that love their parents, but they want nothing to do with them. Like they don't want to move back home. They don't want to meet up with their parents often. They try their best to sustain the relationship through some type of care, but they want nothing to do with them. You get me?
mm,
Or like
okay, but
if you live, if say
yeah.
you were some teenager that lives at home, you don't hate your parents. The relationship is kind of there, but you don't want to talk to your parents at all. So it's just kind of there. It's not a great relationship with your parents. But if someone asked you if you loved your parents, you'd probably say yes.
Okay, but like but we're talking about like this like caretaking in the form of like talking and being with the person in question, right? But but that's not like the only way
Second,
to express
second,
it.
second, second.
Okay. Yeah. What distinguishes the person who loves their parents versus not in this case? Yeah, that's the question. I'm not sure. I think like you can, yeah, so you can love your parents but also not want to talk to them, I guess, maybe. I'm not sure what like uh exactly Miko is thinking of, but I think I think it's still like love. like like hmm, like wanting to be with a person is not necessarily love. Question. Wait, no, or fuck my brain. So love your parents, want nothing to do with them versus want nothing to do with them. End of story. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
It's like I guess it's kind of like a you want nothing to do with them, but you still care about them. So like you yourself don't want to talk to them, but you would be worried if anything were to happen to them, kind of scenario. But yeah, Miko, here's the question. Are
Yeah.
you back? Okay. So, yeah, so in the scenario you're describing, what distinguishes the person who loves their parents versus a person who just doesn't love their parents in this case?
So for me, my definition of love is thinking about the person. So like caring caring about them mentally, right? Because they're kind of always at the back of your mind. You see something and you're like, "Oh, my mom would have loved that." Stuff like that.
Right. Sure.
Right. So if they like come up in your head enough or like uh and like if something were to happen to them, you would, worry pretty
Yeah.
terribly. Uh then that is a form of love to me.
Right.
So that is like there's so like how badly does their existence or lack thereof affect you would define how much you love them. So say you want nothing to do with your parents, but you still love them. If something were to happen to them, it would still affect you largely negatively. But if you didn't love your parents and you didn't really, uh, and then they like, of course you would probably not be around them. Then if something were to happen to them, it wouldn't affect you as much. It would just be kind of like reading about someone's accident on the news. It's like it feels
Yeah.
far off.
Yeah. Okay. So so if we turn this back to love in like a long-term relationship, shit, what were we talking about again with that? Do you remember?
Me,
Yeah.
long term relationship.
Yeah, before we talked about parental love.
Oh, in a long term relationship, I said that love doesn't sustain the relationship. Like, it's not the only thing
Oh,
that sustains the relationship. It's definitely there, but for a relationship to be properly sustained, it's not just with love. Because if it was just love, you can love bomb someone to fill up a like gauge, and then wait for the gauge to go down and come back to love bomb again to fill it back up. And in theory, if love was the only thing that sustained the relationship, that would uphold. But that's not how it actually works.
well, yeah, I don't think love is like the only thing that sustains a relationship, but I think it's the thing that like fuels the other aspects that sustain a relationship.
And you can have like a loveless relationship as well, you get me? Where the love has died out, but they stick together and they still do the acts of care.
Oh, okay.
So their acts, certain like acts of care has become routine, and that routine, that consistency keeps the relationship afloat, but the love has died out. So that's why, like, I think, did someone in the comments say it, where it's like love jump starts a relationship, but it doesn't keep it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, n- I can't actually see chat right now, so I have no idea who said it, but that's my view on it as well, where love jump starts a lot of relationship, or like make it go like, jumpstart the deeper intimacy of a relationship, but it doesn't sustain that. It's your it's the consistency of your efforts that you put into the relationship that actually sustains it.
Mm, okay. All right. Um, Okay. So since we kind of touched on it, we can also head into basically because we started with romantic love, right? So we can kind of talk about not romantic love. So we touched on familial love, but like um not quite sure what to talk about with this topic though.
And why are you writing it in?
Why did I write it in? Because I wrote like a paragraph on aromanticism, that's why.
Okay, so if you talk about other forms of love that are like platonic love or like familial love, okay. So you know how, like you said, we take a lot of our perception of like how we view love from the media and how other people around us view what love is, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like peer pressure. Uh, you can kind of mistakenly think that your platonic love is a romantic thing because of the pressure of the society around you saying that it is romantic.
Yeah, I like the romance friendship line is blurry.
Yeah. So you need to like define that clearly, very, very clearly for yourself on what friendship is and what romance is.
Yeah.
Um, or else you're just going to be like, oh, men and women can't be friends. They'll just end up falling in love for each other. Or like, um, oh, bisexuals can't be friends with anyone. They'll fall in love with all of them.
I think like because you brought up the idea people think men and women can't be friends, but like it's people who say that are like per- it's like what you said when people perceive like you and this other person are romantically interested, even though you might not initially be, but because the people around you are like, ugh, I bet you like him or whatever. It's like it turns into something else. It's
Like shipping.
like shipping. Yeah. And it's especially with men and women, like frequently like if a guy and a gal are like just like really close friends within their friend group, you know, even that will get people thinking like, oh, like, but are they gonna, you know, get together or like they must be together or whatever. That sort of thing. And because you feel kind of that pressure, like it can make it happen, I guess. When if without that outside force, it might have not.
Good job explaining, Shay. You're really good with your words.
Thanks. I know.
Right.
we we do be living in a society. That's
Yeah.
right.
How,
Oh,
how your society views love will also affect how you view love, uh, which like could cause some confusion if your definition of it is different from the people around you.
yeah. I don't know. When I think about love, I just think like, oh, if I care a lot about this person or thing, then that must mean that I love them. Simple. But I guess that's fine.
Or
Mm,
hyperfixation love? I wouldn't say it so. I'd say it's like an infatuation. Like
but
if
when
you
you
fixate on something long enough, you'll love it. But if it's just an infatuation stage, it would fall off quite quick.
sure, but like when you like tell your friends about it, you'll say, "Hey guys, I love this thing," you know.
Yeah, that's shitty language. That's like, hey, the weather is so hot today. How hot is the weather? Give me a number. Stuff like that, you know?
But Miko, I thought love was the jumpstart thing that gets you caring about something. Sure, it might be a
There's a
hyperfixation,
stage.
but
There's a stage before love.
huh?
The stage before love is called infatuation. Second.
Love has absorbed a lot of meanings. Oh yeah. I still like I remember um when it kind of hit me was like or what was it? Or like when I noticed, I guess, a lot of my friends started using like, "Oh yeah, I love you, bye-bye," that sort of thing. Like between friends, So it's obviously love slash platonic. But it was like, oh, I thought that was just like a romance thing, but I guess not. I guess you can use it in all the different ways. Infatuation might be the more proper term for the honeymoon period. Oh, yeah. The scientific term, I don't know if it is.
No, I think infatuation is more for like crushing on someone. And then the honeymoon period is where you actually experience like
Oh,
uh crazy strong love. Like it's
that's
so
better.
the
Yeah.
honeymoon period is when something feels so novel to you. It's like so new, so exciting. But once the excitement falls off, love can still be there, but there's a lot less of it. It doesn't feel as new, it doesn't feel as strong, it's not as fun anymore.
I guess like kind of going back to when we were talking about love jump starting and then fading. I guess like in my head, like even though it faded, like if you're still together and like within a routine and stuff, yeah, like the sort of honeymoon period of love is over, but like staying together and worrying about each other still is like I'd say it's still love. I don't know. Maybe I'm too lenient and broad with my definition. What's infatuation then if it's not a thing of novelty? What causes it to fade? Well, I don't know if Miko's still here, but how Miko described it was infatuation is like a crush. So it's, I guess, what causes it to fade is, uh, mm, wait. Now that you think about it.
Basically, an infatuation, a crush. When you're infatuated or crushing on someone, uh, say if they get a new haircut and they look ugly, it's probably just a crush. But if they get a new haircut and they look ugly, but you think that's kind of cute in its own way, that's probably love.
Okay.
Like, damn, you're so
I don't
ugly. I love
know.
you for it.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is infatuation is more of like a surface level thing.
No, it's more of a what do you call it? It could be emotional, but it's
But
a
like
lot less there. Yeah.
it's a lot less there. What?
It's not as like permanent. I get like I don't like the term surface level because surface level means like it's not that deep, but uh like you could be deeply infatuated with someone, but then they change like you find out something about them and suddenly you don't like them anymore. It icks you. Like it gives you the ick.
More conditional, more fragile.
Yeah, it's more fragile.
Okay.
There's less tolerance of someone changing or not matching your idea of them in your head when you're infatuated or crushing on someone.
So infatuation is delusion. It's your delulu.
Well, technically all types of love is delusional because you have a version of that person in your head or that thing in your head all the time, right? Because there's no way to 100% have the exact same image in your head as the person, the actual person.
Right. Sure.
So, like, I'd say love is understanding that on an emotional level, that, like, your image of them and who they are could not match up, and that's okay. I think that's what love is. But when it comes to infatuation, it's falling in love with the image of them in your head, but not the actual person.
Okay.
So there's less tolerance towards them not being the same.
Yeah. I get you. Cool. Okay. Give me a second to drink water. Um, all right. Okay. So we talked a lot about romantic love. Time to talk about romantic love. So oh, yeah, just realized the names. Hell yeah. Usually Miko is blocking the names in the background. But yeah, in the background there's our names and also the credits for the background. On the slips, the menu slips. You can order us off the menu. No, she shut up. That's dumb. Okay. So I kind of touched on this earlier, but media has like a very uh strong focus on romantic love. Um and obviously you can it's like love itself is more broadly defined. Two orders of just Nick. Love is more broadly defined. It can be familial or platonic or whatever. But when you say the word love and when the media says the word love, usually they're talking about romance. And then I wrote like the lyrics for L is for the way you look at
Well,
me.
stop you right there.
O is for the only one I see. No! Miko! V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone than you adore. Hi, welcome back. So glad you came back. Please don't leave again. I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah. Yeah, like when with songs too, a lot of songs are just love songs.
Yeah, when you say love songs, it's romantic love songs. It's like, what do you mean? A platonic love song that exists? What?
Platonic love song.
I love you so much. Slash P.
Slash P. I love you, bro.
Slash R.
You're my you're my whole world, bro. Yeah. And like movies that don't necessarily focus on romance, a lot of times they will try to include a romance subplot anyway. So, love, romantic, love slash romance, romantic is everywhere. Though, so for the people who don't experience romantic love, like when it comes to media, there's kind of this perception of those who don't experience romantic love being alien or like robotic or like basically non-human. Especially when they don't include random romance. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it is so unnecessary. But they'll try to force it in anyway because oftentimes media will say something like being able to fall in love slash romance is what makes us human less than three or something like that. I watched a video on aromanticism and also asexuality, and they're saying like I think he was like in Star Trek or something. I don't remember the character. But like there's like a kind of ace coded character, right? Who is an alien, right? And like Data, yes, it is Data. Yes, you're right. Who like is kind of alien from love, and that's kind of what makes how like the show defines him as like an alien. Or is he an alien or was he like a robot? I forgot. He's some sort of not human. And then how he becomes more human in the show is by experiencing romance and whatnot. Robot, okay, thank you. I was thinking alien, alien, alien in my head, and I was like, wait a second, but he's like gray. Maybe he's robotic. I heard Data also had like gets a romantic relationship or something like that down the line in the series. And then and then that's what they use to prove like his humanness. And yeah. So Vita is not aware of it, never finished the series. I don't know. I could be remembering wrong, but so take it with a grain of salt. Also as a side note, there are some stories that relate romantic and sexual attraction together, and it's like the core of human beings. It's like in our nature and whatever, you know. So whenever they try to again separate things that are not human from humans, right? They they say like, oh, they don't experience that sort of attraction. They don't have that kind of desire, and that's what makes it not human. So like, yeah, that's not the best. So, yeah. Uh, but depictions of, I'll try to find the video again, but I'm sure if you search like asexuality in media or something like that, uh, the video that I'm thinking of will pop up. But there have been better depictions, and like, yeah, we're working on, better representation, whatever. So, uh, but when we're talking about love, right, and aromanticism, it's not like people who are aromantic don't ever fall in love. They just don't fall in they don't have like a romantic attraction, or just like it's very little romantic attraction, but they can still obviously love other people and whatnot, and have like queer platonic relationships and all that jazz. Just had to get that out there. um But yeah, it's like I guess there's like a tinge of sadness, I guess. If you think about like, oh, if you're if you're a romantic or if you rarely experience romantic attraction, whatever you want to call yourself as, but you still love the idea of love and idea of falling in love, you like reading love stories and whatnot, right? There's like a kind of awkwardness to it because on one hand you're like, yes, I really like this, but on the other hand you're like, but I'll never like really have that. I don't know. And then I wrote like a small blurb about romance and friendship feeling kind of blurry, but like we kind of already talked about that. um and we had this a while ago, or we had this discussion a while ago, but I forgot if this was on stream or not. I don't think it was. But uh there's uh yeah, so like the line between romance and friendship is kind of blurry, so it's kind of hard to define where romance starts and where friendship ends. um because there are a lot of like romantic actions that you can do, romantic actions in quotes, with your friends, uh but because they're just friends they aren't really seen as romantic, right? It's like you can like hold hands with your friends or like hug your friends, right? But like if you were in a romantic relationship, then holding hands and hugs would be seen as like romantic gestures or something like that. So it's like I don't know, case by case scenarios. I took to the hyper popular Steam game Kind Words. And because I was curious, so I asked like just like stuck a letter out there. Like how would you define the difference between romance and friendship, right? And um there was one person who answered saying uh basically on there's and I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but it's one explanation. So you can think of it as like a scale. So on one end is like pure friendship, on the other end is like pure romance, and then you have like on that scale you have like a list of actions, I guess. So you can say like friendship is like knowing who your favorite character in Genshin Impact is and like having met your parents, right? Or having met their parents or something like that. But then like and then like you basically plot out kind of like what you think is like, oh, I'd say like kissing obviously is more romantic, right? And like holding hands maybe is somewhere in the middle-ish or whatever, right? But it like differs from person to person, so it's just like a way for you to figure out like this is where my boundaries lie, right? I don't know, just fun exercise to do at home, DIY, craft it, let's go. Hell yeah. The more you know. So, yeah. Um, I'm gonna move on to a different topic now. Do you have anything, Miko?
That's right.
Yeah, the scale is different for every person. Yeah. I'd say it's more of a thing just for yourself to figure out. Um, like just like kind of like a visualizer so it's not all in your head. Uh, so that way when you're doing relationships with other people, you kind of have like a little reference in the back of your brain. You're like, oh, okay, like I should keep things cool. I don't know. But yeah. So if you ask, just as like another add-on for the romance and friendship thing, uh there's I think it was Wired who did this, but I might be wrong. In all cases, your friendship romance is going to involve at least one other person. You might have no idea what their particular skill and misunderstanding. I'd say like, yeah, the skill is for yourself, but it's for yourself so you can use it as a reference to communicate it with other people, right? I don't know. Or I don't know, it's like group bonding activity, make the scale together. Right. Shrug. Um, but yeah, I forgot which interview this was, but it was with another romance expert, but she was describing the difference between romantic attraction and platonic attraction or romance and friendships or whatever is that like when it's romance, she said that when it's romance you are quote obsessed with the person, so it's like if you're simping over the other person then it's romance is how she kind of described it. And I don't know if that's wholly true or not, but there's another perspective for you. Very cool. I like to gather all these things together. Dots on the table. Oh, Miko, you said you didn't have anything else, right? Or do you have anything to add? Hello? Oh no. Oh no. They're dead. They're gone. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the awkwardness. Every time I'm like, oh my god, I'm really struggling. But practice makes perfect. Okay. So, um, right. So initially I wanted to lead into this topic from the Ultimate Game section, but I guess we can just jump back here. So with Ultimate Games, right, it's kind of like this soul devotion to, or what was it? um, shit, I should probably rephrase my words before I say something wrong. But like the one-sided nature of it, yes, can pretty much be said is can pretty much be the same for people who like and have parasocial relationships. Yippee! All right. So love for idols, love for streamers, VTubers, online personalities, your Oshi, whatever. It's the same-ish thing. Um, but yeah, it's still a love. It's just like, the relationship isn't as uh equal. Anyway, but from that, I wanted to sort of touch on this topic of from from the perspective of people who create stuff or who stream and who want to become an influencer or content creator and stuff. They do exist and they might have been aware that you existed for a short period of time. Shout out, etc. Oh yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you send in a donation and they read your name out. That sort of thing. Yeah. So yes, there are who are aware of your existence, but the information that they know about you is very minimal, right? Compared to the information that you know about them. So, um, so again, it's like uneven terrain. But yeah. Um, so from the perspective of like content creators, influencers, right? There's a desire to be loved, question mark, question mark. So, um, like the sort of like I crave validation and like the numbers and whatever. And um uh yes. And then this leads into this other idea which is less specific, right? Of I want to be loved and changing yourself to be more loved. So, um, like prioritizing other people above yourself and then like thinking, well, what do other people want to see? How should I act for other people to like me? That sort of stuff. Or like if you have a crush on someone and you want them to like you back, right? You might try to change yourself so that you can appeal more to that person, even though that's not really you, you know. um, yes. But if we go back to the perspective of people who, perspective of love from people who create stuff online, right? Who people who are like influencers and whatnot. So, like in a pursuit for popularity, like internet fame, right? Success often comes at the cost of not being able to be yourself, right? So, like previously mentioned, like changing yourself to be more loved. Instead, usually when you uh try to become famous, you have to become someone that people want to see. And then and then like especially if you're like a YouTuber, you have to then kind of also you have to be like what people want to see, which isn't necessarily who you are, but you also have to say like, but this is who I am because people crave like a genuineness from individual content creators. Like, yeah. That was a really awkward explanation. But yeah, so which is why I feel like especially when people I'll hear this like from my coworker who like is like, "Oh, like I want to be a streamer one day. I want to just play video games and get money." I'm like, "Okay." Right? But like, like when people say stuff like me and an influencer is like so simple, like you can just do whatever and just like earn money by existing or whatever. But like it's you're still kind of putting on a performance um because you're not really because like I'd say like to become super popular like uh mm, this was a while ago, but I remember watching I think it was like I think it was Ryan Hugo's video. This was so long ago. But he made like a video, it was like how to get views on YouTube, and it was kind of like a commentary parody type of video. But it was basically like yeah, you gotta like follow all the trends and you gotta do what everyone else is doing, right? And you have to kind of adapt that same sort of low-key obnoxious influencer energy, right? Because that's what gets the clicks and that's what gets you popular, right? So it's like but that's obviously not like who you really are, you know? You're putting on a performance and whatnot. But by doing that, you gain the love of you know, everyone who watches. It's strange. So, yeah. Uh, right. So like we crave attention and popularity, but this comes at a cost. Even with all the things that we want, those who have it. Oh wait, what did I write? Okay. Yeah. So so like for people who crave this sort of uh attention, right? Like for example, my coworker. I'm sorry I keep bashing my coworker, but it's like for example, my coworker, right? Like, you know, but it's even though like the people who have all the things that that they want, so like, you know, the popularity, the numbers, the money, whatever, they aren't necessarily happy with it. Sometimes even more unhappy with it. Because becoming like this influencer content creator person or just like being famous in general means that you kind of have this like awkward responsibility to present yourself to the public in a way that everyone can continue loving you. Like the moment you break that, right, then the love will disappear. You get canceled on Twitter. You know. One of the Mythbusters mentioned something about genuineness in performance. He's not changing it but exaggerating it. He's trying to be himself but 120% energy. Oh yeah. Yeah, there are people who's like, and I do agree with it. Like I think um like a person has many different sides to them, and obviously the person who they are online isn't necessarily not them. You know, like it's still them, it's just another side of themselves, or like it's just like another version of themselves, like for example like 120% energy version of themselves, right? Like but like if you meet them in real life, or if you know they're just ordering a Subway sandwich or something, obviously they're not going to be the same person as they are in front of the camera, right? So yeah. So yeah, like I mean, like, yeah, I'd say there are definitely content creators that do not have to put on elaborate performance. When I was kind of generalizing, but like when I was thinking of people who kind of crave this attention and crave the views and the money and whatever that comes from being an influencer, they do a lot of the same stuff to try to get get that attention. A different focus or filter the way you'd be different from friends or parents. That is false. Just limited in scope. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Miko, are you alive?
Yeah,
Uh, got any thoughts?
my head empty.
No worries.
I feel like I've kind of like run out of like love to talk about.
Don't worry. I still got one more topic and then some like you know, like after hour stuff. So yeah, I wanted to touch on the like uh influencer perception of love, right? Or like love that they get from fans and that sort of thing. Um because we're streaming this. But I don't know. I don't know about you, Miko, but at least for me, I don't really want that kind of content creator lifestyle. I think I might kill myself. Like I don't think I can do that. Uh like as like a full-time job or something. Uh because if streaming extends beyond the hobby or something like that, like I explode. And like I don't think I'm suited for it either. We're just here for shits and giggles, man. And so when I talk about these things, I talk about it from the perspective of someone who is also a fan and who is also watching content creators talk about their struggles and stuff like that. You know, this doesn't come from the perspective of someone who knows what's up. It's just someone who watches a lot of people. All right. Cool. Great. If you have no more thoughts on the matter, Miko?
Not particularly.
Okay. All right. Um Now let's move into this is the topic that I like the most out of what I've written. So, um because we're talking about perceptions of love, so uh this is about how love is perceived within media. So it's as in like how is love shown in media? Because in real life, it is not a like tangible thing. It is just a feeling. So when you bring that into like a visual medium like art or animation or filmmaking, how do you make the audience feel that feeling that doesn't like visibly exist? How do you make them see it, you know? And the easy answer is if you watch Sasamiya or any other shoujo romance or BL or whatever, when you see the sparkles and the flowers and the bouquet lights, you're like, that's when love is on the screen. That means they're feeling feelings. Yeah, like you know, like they'll sprinkle in all these effects to sort of visualize it, which I think is fun. There's also sometimes when it's anime, they'll do hard eyes. So like the so hard eyes, you know, when your eyes are hearts. And uh and then I wrote in parentheses here, it was like new Connie heart eyes tangent and why I had a breakdown thinking about if Ray or Kuya or Quincy or Dante or any of the emotionally constipated men get hard eyes one day.
You do. Aiden actually canonically get hard eyes.
Yeah, see, because so Aiden can have hard eyes. I think Yakumo, Blade, and Edmund also have had hard eyes before. I don't know. Someone is keeping track out there. I remember seeing a post about it. But yeah, hard eyes. I'm waiting. Yeah. But a more interesting, I guess, perspective on how love is like visibly shown in media, and like this is more broad too, so it's kind of off topic. It's not necessarily only love, but more like just relationships between other people. Uh so yeah. So when it comes to fiction, and I'd say mostly Japanese media, mostly anime, manga, there's a trend of like physical manifestations of subconscious emotions. So like a lot of times something kind of unexplained will happen in order to like physically illustrate the problem, right? In like a visual way so that, you know, the people who are watching and reading will be able to see. So, for example, right? Like Persona games, Persona 4, quite literally has the characters face their other alter egos. Like they quite literally have them fight their alter egos and like, wow, that's very on the nose. Right? And more examples like in in A3, Winter Troop, or Tsumugi and Tasuku have like that Groundhog Day scenario with the plushie. where their day keeps repeating until they kind of make up as from yeah. And like, and these sorts of things aren't really logically explained, because it's just like a way for them to, I guess, like physically show or like force them to uh confront their emotions. Suspension of disbelief, yes. Or anime logic. Yeah. Uh, but if we're talking about love, then uh, I'd say so. Like in fan fiction, with soulmate AUs is like a very on the nose physical mm, bond between two people, right? Or like the soulmate AU version where uh like if one person gets hurt, then the other person gets hurt in the same spot, that sort of thing, right? Where it's like a very literal metaphor of like how if someone it like if you're in a relationship together, right? If one person in the relationship is hurt or struggling, then the other person obviously worries about that and will also feel hurt. Yeah. So there's also like body swapping, right? Quite literally walking around in each other's shoes, right? So yeah, anime and manga often illustrate internal struggles externally. And these struggles almost always have to do with other people because, relationships with people are typically the root cause of a lot of issues. So, yeah, cool, right? How love is uh visualized. And if I was like a uh oh yes, internal monologues. Yeah. And also I'd say like when it comes to anime manga, there is like a tendency to flush more than a normal human would. And I think that's like also another part of just showing embarrassment because it's kind of hard to do so in like a real on like a real person, you know? Because people say like, "Oh, haha, you're turning red," or like your cheeks are turning red, or like I've got like a tomato face and stuff like that. But I know there's like people who just like don't really turn that red like ever. I don't know. It's just like a blood thing. Or it's just hard to see. It's harder to visualize. Like the lighting can be very dark and you couldn't see. Or I don't know, it's like a very bright day outside and it's hard to see. Whatever it is. But yeah, flushing more than usual. Along with the sparkles. The nosebleed, but that's a different type of love. Yeah. Uh, got anything, Miko? Or brain still empty?
Mostly empty. It's how I say it. It's like uh I I didn't prepare properly because it's like um I forgot the topic beforehand.
It's okay.
I only vaguely remember the topic, so I didn't prepare anything properly.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, uh, like if you think of anything while I'm blabbing, feel free to stop me.
Oh. Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, of course I will stop you. Okay. Okay. So, love, right? Let's move. So, if we're talking about non-romance, uh, I'm sorry, this is very normie of me. But
Okay.
but my example is from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Goodbye.
No, Miko! Wait, you haven't seen that movie, right? You really should.
Not even a mainstream movie.
What?
It's not even a mainstream movie, dude.
Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yeah.
I'd say it's a mainstream. It won an Oscar or no, wait, what do movies win again? Like it won some award. I'd say it's pretty in the mainstream. Mm. But yeah, familial
Okay, go
love.
on.
Hello?
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, go on.
But yeah, so familial love. It's a very good movie. Had me weeping the entire time. But like the whole shit, what do you call it again? Like the bunch of universes. Uh is it metaverse or is that just
Oh,
Facebook?
you idiot. Metaverse is, like, virtual reality. A
What
bunch
is
of
it called
universes.
again? Oh,
Alternate universe.
multiverse. Okay. That's what it was. Yeah. I feel like the whole multiverse thing is like a tool to kind of uh I guess visualize the daughters of Joy's depression. You'll never look at googly eyes the same. Yeah. And like her kind of falling into the donut, or that's not the donut, the bagel is like her leaving this planet. And and like I saw a lot of people talk about like, oh my god, it's another multiverse thing. But like I feel like it was used really well in here. Like even if some nerd goes and it's like this isn't really properly explained. It's like that's not but like that wasn't the point. The point was to have like a visual thing to kind of illustrate Joy's feelings. Yeah. And nihilism too. Yeah. So, there's like a really nice video on everything everywhere all at once, and I think it's like called Everybody Loves Raymond or something, and it was basically explaining how this connection with other people is what negates the feeling of nihilism, right? And like, nothing matters. Sorry. Entire movie and plot revolves around the concept of a multiverse and emotional consequences. Yeah. Oh yeah. See. I don't know. I don't. Sorry. I see it more like uh yes, it is a movie that revolves around the multiverse and the consequences of kind of being in said multiverse, but um kind of like the consequence that happens, right? The feeling of nothing matters and nihilism, right? You don't really need a multiverse to feel that way. I'd say like the multiverse is just like an extreme version of it. But yeah. Yeah, it's but it's good though. It's a good explanation a good version of the multiverse concept. But yeah, so right. Right. So in the end, like what brings joy, so what brings the characters out of nihilism is realizing kind of like what they have in the present is like hmm like her like the idea of holding on to what they have in the present is worthwhile, and it's like enough for them to stay there. And like having like realizing that connection with other people and how much that means to them uh brings them back from the bagel. um I can connect like another example of this feeling. uh I don't know if you've ever played this game, Miko, but uh Night in the Woods,
I've seen it.
you've seen it. Do you know the kind of plot ish that's going on?
Not really.
Okay. So Night in the Woods is about there are a bunch of animals. Okay. But main character drops out of college and moves back home, right? And they live in a very like small town called Possum Springs, like small in the middle of nowhere kind of town, and there's like no cell reception and a bunch of economic crisis. Anyway, but what happens is what happens with the main character is that basically before they went to college, uh they had like a major disassociation mental break thing. I'm not a psych major. I don't know the proper words for it. I'm sorry. But basically what happened was like how they described it is like reality broke. So um they kind of uh stopped caring about everything, right? The way they related it was to a dating sim, surprisingly enough, but they were like how they were describing how the dating sim characters felt like nothing, but then because they were just like numbers and pixels on a screen. But then when they turned to real life, they were like, but real life is just like atoms and also kind of nothing, right? So they kind of had that crisis, which led to them like beating up a kid, because they were like, I should care about this, like I don't because it's just a bunch of atoms, like it doesn't really matter. Kind of thought process, right? So so college didn't work out obviously after having this break and then like not resolving it, going off to college and then coming back because it's like yeah. So right, so the reason why they came back was that they were trying to kind of grasp the life they had before they had this kind of uh I'll keep calling it break, but I don't know what to call it. This association. Um uh
Wait, disassociation from what?
huh?
Disassociation from what again?
Disassociation from like reality. Basically like nihilism, everything is made up of atoms and there's like a kind of meaninglessness to it, you know? Like why should I care when everything is kind of nothing?
Okay.
That sort of feeling. Um but what brings them back from this feeling is they realize that uh you know, because once you play through the game, you talk to a bunch of people. It's a game about making connections. So, you know, after talking to a lot of your old friends and then making new friends and whatnot, they kind of have like, so they have like a similar epiphany to Everything Everywhere All at Once, where they realize that yes, like these connections with the people that they have in this town, uh, like make it more worthwhile. And so the feeling of like meaninglessness uh disappears because they realize that yes, my friends might just be a bunch of atoms talking to me, shouting words at me, made up things at me, right? But when if these atoms, you know, disappear one day, if if they get hurt somehow, you know, then that's gonna hurt me too. You know, if like basically like if my friends get hurt, if if what I have disappears, I'm gonna be in a lot of pain. But because I'm in a lot of pain, that must mean that these atoms that are just mouthing stuff at me must be more than just atoms, you know? They're like something special because you know, they have such a reaction in me when something happens to them. It's like right? So realizing that uh when realizing that the people that you're talk to, if they get hurt somehow, that would hurt you, uh is what brings like the main character back from disassociating and realizing that oh, I I do care about these people and I want to live in this like present with them. Yes, the realization that she cares despite anything else. It was a very awkward way to explain it, but that's the gist of it.
I think you explained it okay.
Thank you. But yeah, so it was this is a bit off topic from our perception of love, but perception of love as a topic is so broad that you can stretch it to this, you know? Like that's how you receive love as in like care towards other people and like wanting to love.
Hmm.
Hell yeah. All right. Got ready, fuck. Ready for another mainstream metaphor, Miko?
What?
Or not mainstream metaphor. Got ready for another mainstream media example?
Or
Yes, thank you. Mainstream example. Last one, I swear. But so there's a show that I like. And I sent this video to Nick once when she was writing some essay. Um, but there's a show that I like. It's called The Good Place. I
oh,
think
that
it's
one. Yeah, I know that
yes.
one.
Have you watched it? Or have you just heard me yell about it?
Seen some parts of it.
Okay. So, um, yeah. So there's like a really nice video on YouTube that's called uh that kind of goes over the whole show and it's something about being good in a bad system. And it has an ending quite rare. Yeah, right? It's like and it has like a very satisfying ending too. And I don't know, it just felt like I watched like a really long good movie. Anyway, but the video on YouTube that I like about someone talking about it is about being good in a bad system. So, um, in the good place, right? All the characters are dead, and uh, it the show is about like the afterlife and kind of about the system that is in the afterlife, which very heavily uh mirrors our current societal structure, but yeah. So the system is very cold and cruel, and it's also very outdated. So a lot of times you could feel like the system is like out to get you, you know. It's just never in your favor. Nothing is going right. And like you feel like all these immortal beings should care about your afterlife, but they don't really. And um yeah. So it feels very like you feel very powerless. Kind of. But the sort of the takeaway from the video that I watched was that even though the system may be very cruel and unjust, right? And there's very little you can really do to change it. They do change it in the good place, but it's if we're talking about like our society, there's it's very hard to change, to uproot and do something entirely different. Um yes, exactly. It becomes impossible to get into the good place. Uh which is, you know, the good afterlife versus the bad place, you know, yeah, because of life's complexities. Yeah. So um the reason why I sent the video to Nick before talking about no ethical consumption under capitalism, where every action that you take has about a million negative effects onto the world because of how everything is structured. You buy something off Amazon, but and you think everything's fine, right? And you could be buying the thing with like a good intention. Like, I'm gonna buy this thing, you know, for my friend as a gift, or I'm gonna give flowers to my mom, that sort of thing. But because of the process of buying that thing has become so complicated, right? It goes through Amazon like services and then Amazon workers and then who knows what else, right? It, you know, just one thing that you purchased does a lot of bad onto the world that you don't even know about. But like it's something you can't really like it's like can't really be helped.
You can't
Buy
really control it.
yeah. Buy a tomato, potentially support terrible practices unwillingly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like that. So like the system is very bad. and um and it can feel like again like you could get very nihilistic about it, you know, like how could you possibly try to be a good person in a bad system, right? The system kind of almost makes you want to cheat, makes you want to do bad things because you're like everyone else is doing bad things, so it's like whatever, right? I just do whatever.
No.
And s- uh sorry, what? Hello?
Are you talking to me or chat?
You. Did you say
Oh
something?
no, no, you're like what was that? Shit, I forgot what you said. And then I just
It's
said
hard to
no.
be good in a bad system.
Oh yeah, it's like everybody is doing bad, so it's okay, right? And I'm like, no.
I feel like it's just like you feel more justified in doing
Yeah,
bad
yeah,
stuff.
you feel more justified for
It's
sure.
like how we say like I think it's okay to pirate stuff. Like obviously it's technically not, you know, but because of how uh antagonistic streaming services get nowadays, it's like, well, I guess I'll just pirate stuff because it's not like, because I don't want to participate in this debauchery, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it becomes hard to be like a good person. And the takeaway from the video that I watched and kind of the show is how like the relationships with uh the relationships of the characters to each other, right? Helps them improve each other, right? Because positive relationships help people improve each other and friendship and love and whatnot, right? The show is about four characters, but these four characters, when they start out on the show, they're not really good people. They're like okay people, very normal people, but they have a lot of flaws, right? And the show is about them learning to be better people and changing, right? But it how they that happens is them getting to know each other and also improving each other through their positive relationships. Two of them think they're good, at least initially. Yeah.
I mean, the good place was about and torturing people, making them think they're in the good place, but they're actually in the bad place.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, that is the initial premise of the show. Oopsie, spoiler. But streaming as well as game purchases being rented license. That's just season one. Yeah, it goes to a lot of different places. It branches out. But yeah, good relationships make good people, and that's and like it yeah. How to be good in a bad system is to find positive relationships and care for one another. Hands up in the sky. I'm gonna cough for a sec.
Man, it's so hot where I am. Holy shit. I miss I miss electricity.
Man, you said the blackout was gonna happen all day.
And most of today, yeah. Like into the afternoon.
Miko is melting. Yeah, maybe it's because Miko is in a piping hot ramen bowl.
I'm not gonna be Mikori anymore, it's just gonna be Mizu.
There we go.
Also, so sorry I I made you ramble so much today.
Oh, that's okay.
Alone.
Don't worry. I wrote a lot today, so it's all right.
Yeah. And it's like I wanted to hear more of what you had to say because I stated most of what I wanted to say like early on already.
Yeah, you've got electrical issues. There's no worries. Yeah. It's okay. You can always watch the VOD later. Teehee.
I can't see chat either. Oh my god, chat, I miss you.
Yeah. That's kind of all I've got. I've got like some final ending notes, but it's just a bunch of sappy nonsense. So it's like, yeah. Blah blah blah. I love you guys. Blah 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 blah. All right.
Okay, and
I can still hear her voice.
next week
uh,
topic MBTI.
what?
next week's
MBT
topic.
MBTI. Honestly, I'm sure.
Me about to break down the entire thing and tell you that it's nonsense.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'd agree. But yeah, MBTI breakdown. Why you shouldn't take it seriously. And why people should stop using it in the workplace and classrooms and other important structures.
Why MBTI is pretty much just pseudoscience astrology.
Okay. I have some second hour topics, but it's like already past the second hour. I don't know if you want to debate some of this stuff or not. What do you think? Huh?
We can debate stuff.
Okay. Here's our first one. Does love at first sight exist?
No.
No. Okay. Shit, we can't debate if we both agree. I don't.
Okay. I'll say yes.
No,
I'll say
no.
yes.
It's okay. We don't have to exist. We don't have to take two sides. We can just talk about it. But yeah, no. I
Okay,
think.
why do you think no?
I'd say like. I think like there's definitely crushes, and there's definitely like, oh, like wow, I think that person's really cool, and I want to get to know them. Kind of love at first sight in quotes, but like it's not the same as getting to actually know them. So, is it really love? Infatuation at first sight, yeah, can lead to love, but it's not love at the beginning. Yeah. Exactly. We did kind of
I
talk
think
about it, yeah. Hmm?
love at first sight just feels very like first impressions are so important when it comes to building your idea of someone, but love at first sight seems very shallow to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like love at first interaction, maybe, but love at first sight, no.
Yeah. When I was down in the research this what the fuck kind of sentence she anyway. Basically learning about like platonic versus romantic versus sexual attraction. There's also aesthetic attraction. So there's like the type of attraction where you find someone's like, oh, that person looks really good, but like you wouldn't really want to talk to them or date them or have sex with them. You just think they look really good, you know? And like when you say love at first sight, I think aesthetic attraction. I just think like, oh, you just think the person looks really cool. But like it doesn't really mean anything else. Like it's not really love. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Next possible debate topic. Here's a question. Can you choose to fall in love?
What do
Did you
you think no? I
Oh,
said yes.
I didn't hear you. Okay, I also say yes.
We're too alike.
No, get out of my head. Stop answering the same thing. But can you choose to fall in love? Yeah. I think like you can't you can choose whether you like someone or not, for sure. Like you don't people use the word fall in love, but it's more like, you know, look both ways and then cross the street kind of deal. The premise of
Like,
arranged marriage worked
girl,
towards
if you
love
think
even
you're
with
catching
us.
feelings, just block them.
What?
If you think you're catching feelings, just block them.
Yeah. Or Uh, but what if when you block him, you keep thinking about him? Oh, and you can't stop.
Just stop, please. Stop.
Please stop. It's for your own sake. What if you don't want to block him and your feelings are too strong?
Skill issue.
Skill issue. Just get better. Do it anyway. Diagnosis love caused skill issue. That's right. If your skill level was higher, you would have never fallen in love in the first place. Okay, cool. Um, all right, and then I had like a potential topic here, but I never really expanded on it, which is love languages. What do you think about love languages? Are they as real as MBTI, or are they realer than MBTI?
Love languages are just as shitty as MBTI.
I think it's just another astrology thing. Like, oh yeah, I think that's kind of fun. Mm. Love languages, like, I don't know. Like when you say like, oh yes, my love language is what's the most popular like words of affirmation or whatever. Um but like, like that's not the only way that you'd uh I forgot, like is love language like when you say my love language is this, is it like this is how I express love or this is how I want people to love me? How was it again?
Both.
Both? But I feel like well, yeah, it's like a mix of all the things, and it's just putting a label on just on stuff people do. Hmm.
By the way, Miko, what's your love language?
Me.
You still remember?
Quality time.
Oh, okay. I think mine was acts of service.
Yeah, I can tell.
Thanks. Uh, the idea of them being exclusive is probably bad. I'd imagine each person has different levels or strengths. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
also like for a good relationship, you need all of the quote unquote love languages. So like you should not focus on just one. Like if your only thing is gift giving, scientifically, psychologically, like research proven, you'll fail.
If the only thing you're doing is gift giving, oh man, we should have a talk.
Next week, love languages.
Next week is love languages. Next week, if we expand it, let's just do personality tests.
You know what? Yeah, sure, why not? And then we do a personality test on stream, like Omegaverse test.
Oh my- yes, perfect. Love bomb fails again. Okay. And that was most of the rest of the stuff I had. I had like one more second hour stuff, which is let's throw everything we said out the window and talk about some of our favorite meet cute scenarios, air horn noises, and relationship dynamics. But I don't know if that's for this
Delivery guy
stream.
AU or barista AU
Barista AU or what?
or delivery guy AU.
Delivery guy AU. Hell yeah. Are you an alpha, omega, or beta? Yes. The only relationship test, or not relationship, fuck, personality test that matters. Herb guy AU?
Or guy AU.
Waiting for Herb guy to get his love story. Oh man. I don't know if I have a favorite me cute. Uh or
Or like the meet cute. It's super like whatever, but like uh online meet cute where it's like, oh yeah, the first time we ever met we were talking about uh gay people
what?
and then we hit it off. We were talking about gay fictional characters, like just gay people, and we hit it off. That's our meet cute, just being gay.
Just being gay. I don't know. I guess that's technically a meet cute. In my head, meet cutes are more romanticized and fantastical. I'm like talking about gay people and hitting it off. That's just any relationship for me. In this context, are the pair gay? Yes.
Yes. My ideal meet cute is the people in the meet cute are gay.
Wait, what? Your ideal meet cute is
Yeah, the people involved in the meet cute, like my favorite meet
oh,
cute, everything is gay.
everything is gay. Gay unless stated otherwise.
Please assume gay until unless stated otherwise.
Yes. Oh, I like I'm so normie. I'm sorry. I like raw number meet cutes.
Oh, that was also really cute. Like,
Yeah. Where
or like
like
intentionally messaging like your number neighbor.
oh yeah, number neighbors. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are good.
Like, I'd never reply to anything like that, but that's cute.
Man, I was like so hyped to get to know number neighbor and then nobody responded. It was so sad.
All right, but like delivery guy thing with like just the recipient, the fucking customer, and then delivery guy. It's like the same guy over and over because they order at the same time in the morning every day, and there's only like one person, one
Yeah.
delivery guy in that area that's awake at that time. And then and like the order in the morning is always the same order, so it's to the point where like and to the same store, to the point where they don't even have to think anymore. They just wake up in the morning and go straight to that store.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they took a peek at the like what do you call it? The receipt like one day, and then they're like, "What the fuck? That's all you're eating?" So they pick up an extra for the person.
Man. I still like the delivery guy AU that um where both the people are delivery guys
Oh yeah, it's like
and
and
they
from
deliver
two
to the same
different delivery
house.
companies, and
From
it means
yeah,
it's the same thing.
they're from two different delivery companies. They deliver to the same house at the same time consistently like every week because just the person orders stuff every week. And they keep meeting each other, but they're from two different companies. Eventually they keep ordering at that store because not because they want or have to anymore, but just for the delivery guy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Good shit, good shit. There's a really good Kiribaku DJ that's a delivery guy AU. And your talk of it just reminded me of that, and I want to reread it again. uh
Or like coffee shop AU is so fucking overrated, but also it's so good.
Coffee shop AU?
Yeah, where it's like one person's a regular and the other one's a barista.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is overdone, but it's cute though. And it's usually if it's like art or whatever, like the
Yeah.
aesthetics are very pleasing.
Or like it's the same regular over like every same time of day or week, and uh so they like notice like maybe their order is a little special, like they only drink um lavender latte with oat milk. That's not super special. People do that all the time.
Mm.
But, or like they know that the shop doesn't have almond milk, but they always come in asking for almond milk, so the barista eventually like out of their own, use their own money to go buy almond milk just for this one customer because they're a regular.
Like they're opening
And
for the day and they're like, "Oh shoot, I know that person's gonna come by today. I better go buy some almond milk."
yeah. Or uh like the regular always the barista always draws like a smiley or like a heart or whatever on that person's cup, but they don't do it for anyone else.
Oh, yeah.
They
Super
never
cute.
noticed it before until like one day they go there with a friend and only their cup was drawn on.
Yeah.
Or like they talk to a friend and like, oh, I really love this shop, and they always draw like such cute things on my cup, and the friend's like, no, they don't.
Or Dr. Eggman's order, steamed Austrian goat's milk. What is this? Grape AU? You go to the lemonade stand every day asking for grapes until they break down and go to the store with them. Ah, and also you're a duck. Sounds quite familiar.
Did you steal this from somewhere?
Bum bum bum. Ba-da-da-da. Yes, me cute scenarios. Also relationship dynamics. I know we're like contributing to a problem, but it's fun. So
The relationship dynamic, rich CEO who's barely home and gives me his credit card and me.
oh yeah, that sounds great. Totally not like super one-sided or anything. Relationship dynamic. Where you're a cat lady and I'm the cat.
Relationship dynamic. Uh you're a person and I'm a worm.
uh or you're a worm and I'm the person. uh Not anything else in you?
Well, I actually like the relationship dynamic where uh they're both super caring for each other, but in different ways. So they're both a mess, but they make up for each other. Like, they slot perfectly together where it's like one person's usually really shit at taking care of themselves, while
Mhm.
the other person's shit at taking care of other people.
Oh.
Stuff like that. It's like, oh, it's okay. I'll do the stuff that you don't want to do for you, and then and the other one's like, I'll remind you to do stuff that you have to do for yourself.
Yeah. Covering for another person's
Shortcomings.
blind spots. Always a
Yeah, blind
good.
spot shortcomings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either of you watch Future Diaries by any chance?
Oh yeah.
Mirai Nikki? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I didn't finish it, but I did watch a lot of it.
I
Oh,
did not watch a lot of it.
fucking relationship dynamic where it's dumb and dumber,
Yes, that is my favorite.
or like super talkative and then likes to listen.
Yeah.
But
Like
I'm actually
any.
more like super talkative and then also super talkative. Together they become unstoppable. Chaotic seems chill, but it's actually also chaotic.
Yeah. Any relationship dynamic where the two characters are like kind of opposites, I enjoy. I'm very simple.
Warm ray of sunshine, tired and cold person.
Tired and cold. Warm and hot and tired and cold. Wait, no. What's the opposite of tired? Energetic
Energetic
and
and warm.
hot. Warm. Tired and cold. Hell yeah.
But I
Uh,
don't like positive negatives.
positive,
I
negative.
don't like,
Oh,
yeah, when someone's super positive and pairing up with someone that's super negative. I feel like that's draining, so I don't like it.
oh, okay. Then
But
I.
it's so fun to see something like I don't like the dynamic,
Mhm.
but it's fun to read stories where they get paired up together and then you see the negative person becoming brighter, becoming more positive, but the positive person becoming more negative because it's like their positive that's just being sapped away.
Yeah. They
It's
like
fun to read, but I don't
neutralize
like
each
it.
other.
No, it's just like in the end, like you ruin one person for the other person. Like you ruin yourself for someone else, or like you ruin someone for yourself.
Yeah. Chaotic X ordered. Yes. Good opposite. Yeah. Like the person who can't take care of themselves, and then the person who only takes care of themselves.
The person that can't take care of himself and the person that only take like the person that can't do anything, like they really should have taken care of themselves, and the person that really loves taking care of other people, and they slap them together, and then eventually, like, it turns out neither can take care of themselves, so they take care of each other to make up for the fact that neither can take care of themselves. Like the person who looks like they have their shit together can take care of themselves, can take care of other people. Turns out they also can't take care of themselves because they're too busy doing other things.
The messy one brings a passion to a passionless life or something. Uh, I yeah. Relationship dynamics, like I'm never really super picky on them, but uh my brain is so out of juice after I mean, like, messy one has passion, clean one is kind of passionless until they meet each other. Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of this is reminding me of that one GL story that you didn't like, Miko.
Which one?
The one that kind of had the
Oh, the
markings of a
wife.
trad wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you said with Dumb and Dumber, there's the idiot and idiot in progress.
The idiot in progress. That's also good.
The idiot that's
The
always been an
idiot.
idiot, and then the person who's spending more time with them, and then they gradually also become an idiot. Oh yeah, there's a whole nother topic we can get to that's like still kind of about love. Um, but since we were talking about relationship dynamics and stuff, it's like uh we can talk about like how people kind of use that to define their own relationships or like they seek out those specific relationships or whatever. And also kind of how like social media has affected people's conception of love as well. Like the constant talk of red flags and standards and whatever.
And ick.
And icks. Oh yeah. But that's a whole debacle. Like that's a big
If he doesn't use a tote bag and he uses a backpack, that gives me the ick.
no stop.
When I see a guy walking out of a Starbucks with a frappuccino instead of like an Americano, that gives or a cold brew, that gives me such a huge ick. Like
Oh, not the
you're a
cold brew. Yeah. Uh, what a messy thing. Yikes. Um, yeah. I don't have anything else. I'm completely out. I've been I've been juiced out. Mm. When I start getting feels and don't block him, I give myself the ick. Uh, do you have anything else, Miko?
no. When the guy is 3D but not made out of polygons, they give me the ick.
When the guy has a third dimension, that gives me the ick.
Like, you take that back.
Huh?
You take that back. Polygons are good.
I don't know. I don't know. Being able to look at like their side profile without like I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way.
When's the banner for New Carnival again? Today? Tomorrow?
He's 3D and not on a
22nd?
standee ick. Um, not today or tomorrow, in like 2 or 3 days. The banner
I'm dying.
ends. I'm also dying. The banner ends the 22nd, so whenever
The
after that. Yeah. Yes.
I'm dying,
We
dude.
should pull on stream. Oh wait, I was gonna Thank you for reminding me. I was gonna check Twitch if Twitch had a new carnival category. I feel like they might not. Oh, whoa, new
I don't. You
carnival.
should check the games that you're not allowed to stream and see if they have new carnival in there.
Okay,
Because they have a list of games you're not allowed to stream.
there are people who streamed New Carnival, but they either just put it in just chatting or games and demos. So there's no category for it.
Okay. Do I need to download new carnival on my PC so you can like stream it?
Um, yeah, either that or like if you have like a screen mirror or screen share thing, you can share
The
that.
screen mirror from my phone, like the Google Cast, is not good. It like bugs out.
Uh, oh, no, not like from your Discord call. I mean like cast your
Oh, just
phone
straight
to
to my
your
phone. Yeah, that's
PC and
okay.
then share that window or something like that. Yeah.
If I just Discord from my phone, I can do that.
Oh. If you
If I
dis
just like call on Discord from my phone, I could just screen share directly from my phone.
oh, like with an alt account?
No, I don't have an alt anymore. I deleted it.
Oh.
I make a new one.
Make a new one. Genshin resets in 3 hours. TCG life is good. Hell yeah. Or 4.5 hours. Right. Okay. But yeah.
All right. See you next week, personality test.
Next week is personality tests. Yes. I should really
Yay.
like make the thumbnails and whatnot beforehand and not like the day of, but oopsie. It's not really working out that way. Any homework for the viewers at home? Uh, make sure you come to
We'll send it through
class
the.
with a computer and a browser in hand, ready to Google and take some quizzes. Or like, I guess like you could work ahead, like knowing what your MBTI is and what
Yeah.
else is there?
Go look up your zodiac. Go look up your MBTI.
Your
Look up your moon
zodiac,
and rising.
your moon and sun rising, or whatever. What is it called?
Moon and rising.
Lunar Wait,
Your
what?
sun sign is your normal zodiac.
Yes, sun sign is normal zodiac. Moon rising. There was
No,
a
there's moon and then there's rising.
oh, okay. I thought it was like what to get. Okay, never mind. I get it now. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But like by the way, to like get those information, like the extra layers to the zodiac, you need to know like your birth time and location. So,
Yeah, so time to call your mom, bitch.
yep. Okay. Uh, so yeah, zodiac, MBTI, love language, I guess. Um,
Just take something random on Uquiz or Quotev. It'll work.
yeah. If you're a omega, alpha, or beta, your omegaverse gender.
There's this like the title of the quiz is 100% accurate Omegaverse test on Quotev. It has 45 questions. Go for that one. That's like 40, 45 questions. That's the one. That's the bit.
Yes. And then, do people still use enneagrams?
What?
Enneagrams?
No,
Okay.
I don't think I've even heard of it.
It's the one with like the numbers. It's like 9W or something.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it was that popular in the first place.
Yeah, but I do see it floating around. Okay. We'll ignore that one because I don't really get that one. Haven't heard of that one. Okay, yeah. Just me then. Know your Harry Potter house.
No, the length of your wand.
The length of your wand, yeah, and what the core is made out of your Patronus,
Yeah, and the wood.
your Percy Jackson Camp Half Blood cabin, your Greek godparent. Game of
Yeah, your
Thrones
godly.
house. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I didn't know they had houses.
They do, but it's not important. Game of Thrones is not like you're like in it and you'll have a certain personality. It's just like, oh yeah, I was born here, so that's why I'm
Oh.
here. It's like normal family houses.
I keep getting the torture house weird. The torture house? Jeez, what goes on in that show? I don't know. Any other personality, like notable personality things?
Go check what Genshin character you are.
Oh yes, what Genshin? Oh yeah, your Genshin vision,
Yeah, your Genshin Vision, your Genshin Kin.
your weapon, and where you're born, or like what area you're born in. Uh, yeah. One of the families literally had a guy being tortured on their flag. And the most important character spends a long time torturing another main-ish character. I see. Wow, so that's what all the hype is about? Slash J. Okay. I guess that's it. Next week is
Yeah, I guess.
personalities. Or not personalities, personality tests. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also Jason Momoa. Who is Jason Momoa?
Oh no.
Jason Mimosa. Jason Momoa. Oh, is this guy Aquaman?
I want to eat lunch.
Okay, alright. Go eat lunch. It's we're done. We're done.
We're done. Goodbye. Good night.
Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for listening in. Oh, he's also in Games of Thrones. I see. But yeah, thanks for listening in. And listening to all the awkward rambles today. Uh, we'll see you next week. We're gonna talk about personality tests. Yeah, and probably take a bunch on stream. Who knows? It'll be fun. Yippee! Bye bye.
Bye.